Hello, welcome to Ypifany. This is Cheryl Abram. Thank you all for joining me tonight. I know it's been a minute since I've been on, but I'm here now, so we're good, right? Okay, so today I'm going to talk about something that is never talked about in learning and development. Never talked about, ever. Oh, did you hear me say never talked about? Yeah. We're going to talk about intersectionality and what that means and why that's something we really need to consider in learning, development, and evaluation. Okay. I'm not going to, keep y'all all night, but this is absolutely something that we at least need to touch on because it's not talked about right now at all. So what currently happens in learning, oh, and I'm using StreamYard here too. So this is something new for me. So we're working it together. All right. Now, what currently happens in learning is that we have a whole design process. All right. And it begins typically with what we call learner analysis. Okay. We go out and we find out, okay, what kind of outcomes does the organization want for the training? What kind of needs and outcomes and outputs does the learner want? Do they want to have knowledge about how to use a computer, knowledge about how to work the new printer machine, knowledge about IT security or whatever. Okay, whatever the training is. All right. We go out and we do an analysis and we say, okay, who is the audience? What does the audience want? And how can we design this training so that the audience gets what they need to be able to do their job? All right. So that's really what we're looking for. The need for them to be able to do the job. That's why you're going to the training or you're getting the development. All right. Do your job, to be a good leader, to be a good supervisor, a good manager, whatever the case is. All right. Hold on a second. I typed something in here and I didn't save it. Hold on, let me do it again so I can bring it up on the screen. Is this what I put? I'm asking y'all like y'all know. Okay, let's do this. There we go. Why do we need intersectionality in learning? Okay. So that's what we have, learner analysis. Okay, I'm doing a little bit of that tomorrow, a little bit of learner analysis. All right. But what happens is, okay, now if you go to my reality pedagogy video, I talk about that more in that video. What happens is we do the learner analysis. We say, okay, this is what the learner wants. This is what the organization needs. This is what they have to practice so that they can then go back and do their jobs and, meet the goals and the mission of the organization and all that. But what we do, because we ignore so much, what we're actually doing is creating a training for an imaginary organization. We are not basing what we're doing in reality. Because first of all, we're only seeing the learner as an employee. You're an employee in this organization. You have these certain work duties that you have to get done. So this is the training that you need, to fill those gaps in knowledge and competencies and practice and all that. Okay. That's a fairy tale story because they are not just an employee. They're not. Okay. And it's not a linear process where, okay, I'm doing this to just get this job done. I'm working with other people in here who have different personalities, different goals, even though we work for the same organization. Okay. Different goals, different values, all kinds of stuff. Now, I saw this, first of all, hilarious image. Okay, of what's really going on in an organization when I was researching stuff about holacracy. Okay, if you don't know what holacracy is, please go look it up. It's let me write it here for you. Holacracy. Okay, so if you don't know what holacracy is, go research it a little bit. It's an organizational structure that is absolutely nothing like a bureaucracy, okay? Nothing like it, okay? It's the furthest away from a bureaucracy as you can get, almost, all right? It's almost like, what's his name? Lolo's Teal organization, okay? So go look up holacracy. It's very good. So this is from what I'm about to show you. Let me share the screen. Oh, wait, that's not how I do it. I do it here. All right, can you see that? How do I make that bigger, though? That's what I was trying to do. I don't know, I'm going to figure that out later. All right, so this is a, and I have the link here so you can go to it. This is this on the holacracy website? Oh, it's the New World of Work website, and it shows what's really going on in the organization. Now, this is Zappos, because Zappos, this is from 2018, has a holacratic structure. Okay, and so here it says, okay, so this is the, oh my God, y'all, some of this stuff. Look at this. This is funny. So this one hates this one right here. That's what that line is. So these are, this is the typical, way an organization is set up. You have the head here. They supervise these people. You have that. This is the typical org chart. All right. Now, what they're saying is this person is sleeping with that person right here. Okay. This one sleeps with that one. These two are jealous of each other. This one owes this one a favor. These two are brothers. This one has a religious connection with this one and with this one over here. These right here play golf together. You see all these relationships going on in the organization, and this is true. This is true. Okay. So it's not just about you saying, okay, you're an employee and you are here and you have to supervise this person and this is your job. Blah, blah, blah. What you don't know is that this person has an old score to settle with this person. Okay. What you don't know is that these right here, they have kids at the same school. Okay. Which impacts the way they work together. All right. What you want to happen, what organizations want to happen, and what they think happens is that you leave all that stuff at the door. How many of y'all know that's not true? How many of you know that you resent this person right here? And when you go to work, you don't leave that at the door. Okay? This resentment follows you everywhere you go. Everywhere. When you have to do a project with them, when you buy a water cooler, talking about them, because you resent them for whatever reason, it don't matter. But you are not leaving this at the door. And if you, as a training professional, ignore the fact that all this stuff here is happening, and you think that you're only talking to an employee when you're designing and implementing the design of the training, you got problems. Okay. And now you wonder why, okay, they go to training, they learn this stuff, and 85%, 90% doesn't even transfer. It don't transfer. Could it be because this is my ex over here? You see this right here? That's X right here. These two have a secret deal going. Okay. Could it? Oh, Lord have mercy. They're talking about threesomes. Listen, what I'm saying, and I love this right here because it's based in reality. That's what I'm telling you. Go back and look at that reality pedagogy video I have there. Okay. This leads me to, you're not just designing for an employee. You're not just designing for a learner. You're not. Okay. Let's tell the truth first, because nothing will change unless you start with the truth. Nothing. Now, that's not saying you go in for your learner analysis and you be like, okay, who you sleeping with up in here? Who do you resent in this organization? Who do you have a religious affiliation with? You ain't asking them kind of questions. That's not what you're doing. All right. But what you are doing is you're going in there with reality on your mind, knowing that this kind of stuff is going on sub rosa. And it absolutely will have an impact on the way these people learn, their motivation for even doing whatever it is you're trying to teach them to do. Okay, on the job, it impacts all of that stuff. Okay, now a good instructor will actually say that. He or she will say that. Listen, these are the objectives today. Whatever's on the slides or the board or whatever the hell you're using. These are the objectives. But let me tell you what I know. What I know is that everybody is in here has a different goal. Okay. You're in here for different reasons. You have different things going on in your personal life and your work life that's going to influence what you hear today, how you react to it, and what you do when this particular event is over. But the learning experience is going to continue after this. Okay. And what I do know is that there's a whole lot of stuff going on that I don't know about. All right. But what we're going to do here today is learn how to harness that other stuff, because I'm not going to get in your business. All right. I'm not going to do it. It's none of my business. Okay. You know what's going on. But what we're going to do today, and I don't care if this is Excel training on coaching, whatever, how to use the printer, it don't matter. We're going to harness whatever is going on so that we can, and that's when you bring in the values of or whatever you want to do. Okay. But what you want to do is not pretend that all you have in front of you is an employee. And all they have to do is follow the directions from your training to get the work done. Okay. Because that's not true. What you have in front of you is called intersectionality. That's what we're going to call that today. Intersectionality. How do I get this thing bigger than this? I did it in the other one. I don't think it's this one. Oh, it is that one. Huh. Okay. Can y'all see that? Let me see if I make that bigger. Intersectionality. Yep, it gets bigger right here too. Okay. Intersectionality is the interconnected nature of social categorizations such as race, class, and gender as they apply to a given individual or group, regarded as creating overlapping and interdependent systems of discrimination or disadvantage. So when you are giving a training on supervisory, being a good supervisory skills, okay, whether you acknowledge it or not, you ain't got to acknowledge it. This is a reality sitting in front of you. You have people of different races, class, gender. Let me show you this right here, because this will show you what. So Kimberly Crenshaw is actually the person who coined this term, intersectionality. You see a short description of her. Go look up more about her. She's a very interesting and amazing person. All right. American lawyer, civil rights advocate, a leading scholar of critical race theory who developed the theory of intersectionality, full-time professor at UCLA School of Law and Columbia Law School, where she specializes in race and gender issues. Okay. Kimberly Williams Crenshaw. All right. Now I want to take you to some, oh wait, no, not that one. Right here. Okay, so here are images for intersectionality. You see all that stuff going on? Now this is one person. Okay, now let's look at, let me see, what is, okay, let's look at this one. Well, let me see. Ba-da-da, ba-da-ba-ba. Okay. Cheryl, just pick one. Damn. Okay. What about this one? Let's do this one here. Okay. You see that one? We're going to look at this one. Intersectionality. With every person who sits in front of you, you got all this and more going on. Okay. Education, family status, race, age, occupation, sexuality, ability, aboriginality. Is that how I said? Aboriginality. Yep. Ethnicity, immigration status, gender, heritage, history, geographic location, language, religion, all of this stuff, veteran status, if they're in the military or not. Okay. All of this stuff right here, all the history, everything you got going on in front of you. And if you think for 1 second, not even 1 second, a nanosecond, that none of this stuff impacts this right here, this occupation, if you think for 1 second that none of that stuff impacts that, you done lost your mind. Like, you seriously, something's wrong. Seriously, something's wrong. Think of yourself. Think of yourself in a training course, okay? And tell me that the only person sitting there is an employee and is not a mother or a father or a veteran or somebody's friend or somebody's child, and that you don't notice that, or your nationality or your immigration status or your religion. Tell me that none of that stuff comes up for you when you're in that supervisory training, that all you think right here, I'm an employee of whatever, and nothing else matters. Okay. The family stuff don't come into play. You can't tell me that, because it's not true. Just like when you're at home, sitting at the dinner table, you cannot say that work stuff don't come up. Oh, I leave that at the job. No, you don't. You don't leave it at the job. You don't. Because it's right here. It's part of who you are. Right? It's part of how you define yourself. So it's got to come up. It's going to come up. Okay? So that's what I'm saying. In front of you is more than a supervisor. Much more than a supervisor, or an employee, or a learner, or a TSA agent, or a cybersecurity professional. There's a lot more in front of you than that. And all I'm saying is, you ain't got to get into everybody's business. Okay. What I'm saying is that we as trainers, as coaches, as mentors, as, people whose function it is to teach. Okay. And that can be various people have the function to teach. Okay. Not just so-called teachers. All right. Whoever, it's your responsibility to know that you have a person in front of you who's like what do you call those things? They have many different spectra, many different parts, okay, that make up what you see in front of you. And stuff that you cannot see. A lot of this stuff you can't see. All right. But it's still part of that person. You can't see their religion. You can't see their traditions. For many times you can't see that, right? Unless they tell you. There's a lot of things about a person you can't see. You don't know what their fears are. Okay. You can't normally see that. Especially if they're all dressed nice, hair done, nails done, suit on, whatever, you can't see a lot of very important things that will impact how they learn and what they do with what you're telling them, with what they're seeing, with what they're practicing. Okay. Now, when we go into analysis with this on our minds, that should be influencing not just the questions you ask, but the kinds of things you research about the person and the environment that they're in. If this person right here in this picture, okay, is in an environment, let's say, that is full of men, and let's say this is a cisgendered woman, okay, the training that she is getting about supervising. Don't you think this right here, especially if she's supervising a bunch of men in a male-dominated environment like the FBI or something, don't you think this will have right here a huge impact on how she's learning, what she's learning, how she's going to implement that back on the job? Don't you think that'll have an impact on that? And how, if you're going in here with that mindset, what are you doing in your analysis to help control for that, to help acknowledge that, to help her be able to navigate in such an environment, okay, where it'll be very easy for her, especially as a leader in a male-dominated environment, to be treated differently and looked over and marginalized and all this other, okay? And not just her. What about the cisgendered men that you have in your training, who have a woman as their supervisor? See, this is about more than what I need to do to get the job done, okay? Because you're not working with robots. This is not just about programming people to do something and then they go and do it. No, no. You have a lot of complexity in front of you. And the first thing that we need to do as trainers, as coaches and mentors and instructors and all that stuff, right, is to acknowledge it. Just acknowledge. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying go to another class. I'm not saying you need to go to training. I ain't saying none of that. I am sharing information that you can absolutely look further into and acknowledge it moving forward. You do your next learner analysis. Look, when you do your next evaluation, okay, when you look at your stakeholders and make a conscious decision about who you are actually marginalizing in this learning experience that you're designing, because you ain't designing for everybody. You're marginalizing somebody. And who is that? And why are they being marginalized? Because it's a reality. If you're going to change anything, at the minimum, you got to start with the truth. Okay? You have to. All right. That's all I have for tonight. So again, the person who created this, her name is Kimberly Crenshaw. Go look her up. She's a very amazing person. If I can get the thing here. There it is, right there. Okay. Professor of Law at UCLA. That other site I have here in the description. This is hilarious, but it's also accurate. Okay. Accurate, you know, and I think it's, I've used this in several of my presentations, but I had to block out some of this stuff because, you know, and I was telling somebody this the other day. We some of the raunchiest, I mean, just, you know, in the dark type people, but don't say no curse word though in public. All right. I mean, you know, just so high sedity, like we just, whew. Anyway, you know, block out the offensive stuff. And, you know, if you can use this in one of your presentations, that would be great. That would be good. All right. That's all I have today. And I thank you for being here with me and for watching. And please remember to like the video, share, and subscribe. And I will see you here next time. Have a good night.